Hello everyone, and welcome to my Protection Paladin 7.1.5 PP guide. In this video, I'll go through our performance in 2s and 3s, possible good combos in Arena, the changes in 7.1.5, and also go through tips and tricks and how most abilities are best used as a Protection Paladin in PvP. First, a bit about myself as a Protection Paladin. I've been playing Protection in PvP since Lich King. Mind you that I haven't played all too serious through all this time, mainly been, well, playing double tank during the earlier expansions such as Cataclysm or Miss Pandaria. And no, it wasn't to piss people off, it was because I like the survival playstyle. I take it as a challenge to stay alive. It's quite a unique playstyle. At the moment it's kinda healer, DPS combined into one. Not a protection paladin, in the early days we weren't so great in PvP. I maximum reached 1.9k, and that was with a Blood Death Knight back in Miss Pandaria. Anyway, in this expansion, a lot is different. We play much more like a healer, a kind of battle healer. Our damage before 7.1.5 was about half the DPS, however we received some great buffs that might put us over the top, but I will go through them later. Our control and healing is great this expansion as well. After certain healing nerfs in 7.1.5, the healing dropped a bit for certain talent setups for protection, like the Luminance nerf. Our biggest strengths are that we can heal one target great, we get good defensive CDs, and our damage is not to be ignored, as well as our control being strong. Our weakness are that our passive defense is weak against damage over time and high hitting classes, since we take 25% more damage in PvP, and our versatility is fairly low. We also have trouble healing more than one person at a time. Because of our trouble healing more than one person, playing double DPS and a protection in 2v3 doesn't seem so great. But to be honest, I haven't played much 2v3 yet. I'm mainly focused on 2v2. But I'm sure there are some double DPS and tank comps that might work, if the DPS are tank enough or have enough off healing. Otherwise, you could go DPS, protection paladin and a healer. It works great with a healer, and most of our weaknesses are cancelled out. Now in 7.1.5, our template boosts have led to our damage being much better than before. In 2v2, however, protection paladin is actually fairly broken. I've been playing with an Unholy Death Knight. Reason why I choose an Unholy Death Knight is because one of the most tanky DPS specs. With high health pool, leading to protection paladin's heal, which scales off health, it heals for loads then. We reached 2.5k before 7.1.5, and now with both Unholy Death Knight damage buffs and some fairly insane template buffs to protection, I can foresee it being very, very strong. If you want to play Protection Paladin 2s, a DPS is recommended, a tanky DPS that is, since we still aren't as strong as healers in healing, and since our main healing is from when a friendly unit is low on health. A CC chain on us, when our partner is low on health, can easily make a less tanky partner die. Playing with a healer in 2s is something I haven't tested, but I still believe, even after 7.1.5 buffs, that our damage ain't strong enough to put out enough pressure on our own with a healer, so I wouldn't suggest playing with them. So now, to talk about buffs and nerfs that we received in 7.1.5. The buffs we received are fairly game changing. First we received a small increase to Holy Shield. It's 15% block up from 10, which is great because a blocked attack might reduce your damage on it, if it's a big hit, to make softened blows, which is a PP talent that reduces our damage taken if the attack is small enough to proc. Also our block is more damage when they attack us. It will be a lot more damage against dotters like Affliction Warlocks, because Holy Shield procs a lot on them. The major buffs we received was to our template. Our haste went from 100% to 200%. Our crit went from 100 to 125. We also received 50% baseline versatility, which is about 5% damage and healing, and also 2.5% damage reduction. This is very big, especially the haste. Our rotation will feel a lot more smoother, and it will increase our damage, survival and healing massively. We also received a few well-deserved healing nerfs. One was to Luminance, which is a PP talent. It now only works if friends are healing you, not if you heal yourself. They also nerfed Guarded by the Light. It no longer reduces mana cost on Flash of Light, and it only stacks to 2. Pure of Heart got a nerf overall, so it's now a lower CD dispel. This nerf doesn't affect 2v2 so much. I personally never played with Luminance, and we didn't often have time to heal with Flash of Light, since it would be too big of a DPS lose for the team. The Pure Heart nerf will hurt against rogues, but that's pretty much it. Now, to go on to our rotation and important abilities. I won't go through every single ability, but I'll give you some tips and tricks and how some abilities are more preferred in PP compared to PV. Let's start with Judgment. It's an ability you want to use off CD every time. Reason is because it's our biggest hitting ability in PP, because Avenger Shield and Shield Righteous damage is nerfed. It also reduces our CD on Shield Righteous by a lot, and heals with the PP talent Judgment of the Pure. So always prioritize it. Make sure to always time your defensive abilities for when you sense huge incoming damage. It is very important since 2 big hits on us will go through softened blows, PP talent. Ardent Defender is a bit special since it can work as an offensive CD if the enemy team is attacking you. I also try to go for the damage reduction through Ardent Defender and not the cheat death version of it, mechanic of it. The 12% healing is too little, and I'm fairly sure it's affected by dampening, so usually we just die right after it. One of the most important things in our standard rotation against enemies is when to use Shield of the Righteous and Hand Protector. If you were to be low on health, let's say 20%, you were out of major defensive CDs. You have a single charge of Shield Righteous, but there is 2 seconds left on Hand of the Protector before it comes ready. Through the talent Righteous Protector, you could use your Shield Righteous and instantly heal with Hand of the Protector. But then you would lose out 1 second on the Shield of the Righteous you would lose out 1 second on the Righteous Protector benefit. So sometimes it's good to be greedy and make sure you get the maximum potential out of talents. I would in that scenario, depending on how I feel the incoming damage will be, survive for 2 more seconds or try, and then use Hand Protector, and after that Shield Righteous. But it depends entirely if you're willing to take the risk. If you don't take those risks though, you might die either way, since you will be out of stuff for a while after your Shield Righteous or Hand Protector combo. I personally, overall, use Hand Protector early in combat to get the rotation to get the CD rolling. Even if it heals more the less I have, I don't want to lose out precious seconds of its recharge time. Try to cast Consecration before your Hand Protector for a 20% increase, and if possible, remain in your Consecration for the Shield Righteous increase. You could pre-pop Hand Protector before running into the enemy. It makes the healing of time, Light of the Titans, start rolling on you. It is such a small heal though, so I don't personally bother to do it at the start of battle. We don't usually have issues until dampening, either way. So now, as the last thing, I'll go through both of talent trees and which talent to use in what situation. I'll mainly say the choices I make, but it's from an over time survival standpoint. There are some tiles which won't have a right answer, and it depends entirely on your setup and also your playstyle. So, the first part of talent tree, Holy Shield versus Blessed Hammer versus Consecrated Hammer. In this tire, I choose Holy Shield for every situation. Blessed Hammer is good versus auto attacks on bosses, but no class deals a huge amount of their damage through auto attacks in PvP. So the Consecrated Hammer is weak because we'll be out of range a lot. You don't have time to use many Hammer of the Righteous. The best here is Holy Shield. It also got buffed in 7.1.5 and it's a solid defensive. It works both against melee and magic and gives you some extra damage when enemy attacks us. Reduced damage taken is also great, comboed with Softened Blows talent, which I'll go more into later. The second tier, First Avenger versus Blessing of Light versus Crusader's Judgment. For this tier I choose Crusader's Judgment, always. First Avenger is sadly for Avenger Shield only, and that ability is nerfed in PP by 50%, so it's not so valuable. Weapon of Glory is too long of a cooldown, and I personally think we need constant help with our survivor, so we don't want to be weak once our CDs are over. Crusader's Judgment, however, is fairly huge for our survival. 2 charges of Judgment makes it not lose charge timer when we are stunned, like we would before that talent got changed. When we get kited and then get in range, double Judgment deals great damage. Judgment also got additional benefit in PP through Judgment of the Pure PP talent. A chance to reset this is even greater, so all around this is the most solid choice. Third tier, Fist of Justice, Repentance or Blinding Light. In this tier I choose Fist of Justice, because we had a lot of judgments going through our haste and Crusader's Judgment. We will then have stun ready quite often. Repentance could work for 3s or 2s if you have played a team that are able to get you time to cast Repentance. However, I would personally then choose Blinding Light because it's an instant CC, even if I have a cooldown. Uh, in this tier, it does however depend on your setup and how you prefer to play. I like the constant stuns thanks to Fist of Justice myself. The fourth tier, Blessing of Spellwarding, Cavalier, or Retribution Aura. In this tier, my standard choice is Cavalier. However, against any caster team, I change the Blessing of Spellwarding. Sadly, Retribution Aura is bugged and its procs reset your melee swing timer, so you're unable to auto-hit them. Otherwise, it would be my go-to choice against melees. Now instead, I use Cavalier against melee teams, but Spellwarding can also work as an anti-CC against the enemy healer, or as a small additional heal through the Holy Ritual PP talent. Spellwarding got a bit lower CD than Blessing of Protection, so that's why it gets some additional benefit. Cavalier is great for movement, however, which we need when we have to escape or go in melee for CC. Overall, Spellwarding is golden versus all casters. The fifth tier, Have the Protector, Knight Templar, or Final Stand. In this tier, I always choose Hand Protector. Knight Templar could be nice with a lower CD, but the CD is too low duration and the damage reduction won't do much compared to the Hand Protector healing increase. Being able to heal others through Hand Protector is also some of our main core parts that makes it viable. Final Stand is useless in PP because Taunt won't do anything. The sixth tier, Aegis of Light, Consecrated Ground, or Judgment of Light. In this tier, I choose Judgment of Light. Consecrated Grounds is very tempting and something I might consider in the future. Issues with Consecrated Grounds is that you move out of your consecration quite a lot. The slow is great versus Pillar Kiters, but I don't like the lose of healing compared to Judgment of Light. Judgment of Light can be put on more than one enemy, and then your cleave, like Hammer of Righteous or Consecration, makes you receive healing from all of them, which is great. Your teammates will also like the additional healing. Aegis of Light ain't so good in PP, because 20% ain't enough, and with a channel time, the ability will do us more harm than good. The seventh tier, Righteous Protector, Seraphim, or Last Defender. In this tier, I choose Righteous Protector. We have a lot of sheer Righteous cast, and getting a reduced CD on Hand Protector is good for healing. Seraphim got some great burst potential, but I prefer the constant survival assistance that Righteous Protector gives. Seraphim could give you some nice bursts with Blast of Glory. Last Defender ain't that good in arenas, perhaps in battlegrounds if you have a WoW swarm of pets or enemy players attacking you. So now, to go on with the PP talents. PvP Tier 1, Gladiator's Medallion, Adaptation, Relentless. Most of the time I go with Relentless. Reason is that we want as little CC chains affecting us as possible. It's one of our main issues since we heal our teammates more when they are low in health. So the CC we receive has to be as low as possible. Without Relentless, it will also be hard for us to survive those long 5 to 6 second stuns if we have a CD on our trinket or let's say have every man for himself. Relentless is always active, even if it's a small benefit, but it's still better than nothing. I haven't tested out Adaptation or Gladiator's Medallion enough to say that what times they're better. I'm pretty sure for certain comps and situations, especially in 3v3, they might shine more than Relentless for us. I would suggest you to try them out and see for yourself what you feel most comfortable with. PvP Tier 2, Relentless Assault, Inquisition, Soften Blows. This tier, I go with Soften Blows. We have received a damage taken increase in PvP a while ago, and without Soften Blows, we get quite blown up. Relentless Assault or Inquisition is good for 3v3 when you have a healer with you, but even then, I personal value survival over damage. It is also a preference choice. Soften Blows, however, is a great combo with our damage reduction abilities and effects. PvP Tier 3, Shield of Virtue, Unbound Freedom, Warrior of Light. In this tier, I choose Shield of Virtue. The silence is great and nothing that I want to replace. It's also off the global cooldown. The movement speed is too little from Unbound Freedom, and Freedom can also be dispelled. Warrior of Light sadly makes a small hit in Shield of Righteous, you hit a tiny bit more. While it reduces its effectiveness in defense, it's nothing I would suggest picking. Unless you're trying to go for some one-shot PP build, then it might be fun, but I still think our pressure is lacking for that kind of play to be viable. PvP Tier 4, Holy Ritual, Cleansing Light, or Luminance. I will choose Holy Ritual. Even before 7.1.5, with nerfs to both the others, I most went with Holy Ritual. It's a great instant heal with your blessings. Even if they get the spell, you receive both heals. It makes Blessing of Freedom be usable as a rotational heal as well, if you aren't kited, or have to use it as a gap closer. Cleansing Light isn't worth the global, standard cleanse is enough, and Luminance nerf severely affects its viability. It might work in 3v3, but I think the benefit is too small. PvP tier 5. Hallowed Ground, Guarded by Light, Sacred Duty. In this tier I choose Sacred Duty. However, I haven't tested Hallowed Ground much this patch after its buff. Suppressing slows is actually great and might make a combo of Hallowed Ground and Consecrated Ground viable. I like Sacred Duty since it makes our sacrifice go to 45 seconds cooldown with the artifact trait. Our Blessing of Protection goes to 2.5 minutes and Spell Warding to 1.5 minutes. Guarded by the Light received a lot of nerfs and the time it takes to casting it makes it not worth it. PvP tier 6. Judgments of the Pure, Steed of Glory, Guardian of the Forgotten Queen. I choose Judgments of the Pure in this tier because we cast Judgment a lot. It's also acting a bit weird currently. It's not affected by dampening and the heal is 2% of your maximum health. It's not scaling by spell power as the tooltips say. It got a weakness of healing the closest target though, so it can heal your pets. But overall, it's a standard choice I take. Steed of Glory is great as an interrupt and as an escape, while Guardian of Ancient Queen is a huge and strong defensive cooldown that can be put to teammates as well. I could see Guardian being used in most comps in 3v3 with a healer, because extra healing from all Judgment won't matter much then. But since I mainly focus on overtime survival, I choose Judgment of the Pure. Our haste buffs also affects it greatly, since more Judgments equals more healing. Thank you all for watching, and I hope the guide was of any help. If you have any questions, for example help against certain enemy comps or classes, please leave a comment, or if you have any feedback. Stay tuned for more.